Here is a guide on surviving your fall from grace and living with the unproductivity that comes along with it. I like to define a small fall from grace as how one plummets after peaking in some aspect of their life or another. This can range from when you were 6 years old and a child actor to scoring incredibly high in your GCSEs and then having no academic achievement ever live up to it. Or even pulling a Doctor Strange and falling from your status as a renowned doctor to a desperate, nearly bankrupt shadow of what once was. My fall from grace nearly broke me. After 4 to 5 months of extreme productivity and routine, I nosedived into a pool of nothing. I went from cooking healthy meals for myself every day to eating chocolate at 4 in the afternoon as my first meal. I went from working out 5 to 6 times a week to staying in bed for days on end. My once robust social life plunged. And I went from that annoying kid who always does her homework and makes notes to the one who forgot they had a lecture today. As someone who closely ties her productivity to her self worth, this was a real kick in the stomach for me. I lost confidence and motivation and spiraled into unproductivity. Now, unproductivity is a vicious cycle. You don't perform a task, you feel terrible about it and beat yourself up. This makes you lose confidence, and you don't feel confident enough to carry out the next task. And so you don't. The cycle is endless in duration and relentless in nature. And that is where the guide begins. Step 1. Don't beat yourself up for being unproductive. I realize that when I don't beat myself up for being unproductive, I tend to feel better and more confident about the next task I'm assigned. And I'm actually inclined to do it. Now, this isn't foolproof, but a 30% success rate is better than the previous 0% that was crushing you by the weight of its nothingness. Step 2. Accept the fact that you won't be able to give your fullest every day. Now, this has been particularly hard for me, but it has helped me come to terms with the little I'm able to do in a day. When I'm assigned a task, I go in an all or nothing mode. Here, if what I'm doing does not agree with my standards, I will simply abandon the project. But now, knowing that I don't have to give my fullest every day helps me actually complete the project. A mediocre essay is better than a half plausible excuse. Something is better than nothing. The third step is integrating unproductivity into your daily life. Accept the fact that you will be unproductive 2 out of the 5 days, and it will help you work better on the remaining 3. If you aim to give your fullest every single day, you will simply run yourself to the ground, just like I did. And the smallest change in plans will bring out the worst in you. The fourth and the final step is the easiest and pretty much my favorite one. Have fun. If you're going to be so awfully unproductive anyway, you might as well enjoy it. Embrace and revel in the freedom that the avoidance of your priorities bring you. And that's all I have for you. Here is your guide on surviving your fall from grace and living with unproductivity. Over time, I have realized that we get so caught up in our own head that we forget about the impermanence of these states and emotions. Hold on, this too shall pass.